If you've ever wondered about the benefits of using a teleprompter and how it's actually set up, then this is the video for you. So I'm going to take you behind the scenes of how I use a teleprompter and how you can control it with a Stream Deck. So a teleprompter is extremely useful when you really want to nail that script and also you want to sound natural and maintain eye contact with your audience through the camera. You can also put your slides into the teleprompter to use it when you're presenting live, and again it allows you to see your slides and continue to make connection through eye contact. Alternatively, you could have your Zoom participants in the teleprompter screen, and that reminds you to look at them and maintain eye contact through the lens. So now let's go behind the scenes of the setup, and there are three key elements to the setup. So the first thing I'm going to turn on here is a behind the scenes camera. So this camera is pointing at the teleprompter. If I lift it and move it back, you can see the teleprompter there and some acoustic pads on the door for avoiding echo. So there is it is the Elgato teleprompter, and it has its own software for putting in your script and controlling the speed and everything else. So if I turn on the software, then we have the software here, and I can zoom in on the software and you can see that there's a script there. You can adjust the speed, the brightness, the contrast of the display. In fact, the Elgato teleprompter acts as another monitor as well if you want to use it as a second, third, or even fourth monitor. So that's the software. You can cut and paste in your script, and the blue there signifies chapters, which is really useful if you want to move between chapters. Typically, if you make a mistake when you're recording, you shouldn't really necessarily start from the very beginning. You should just start from where you made the mistake or just before it. And that's why breaking your script into chapters, as they're called, or into paragraphs and chunks, so to speak, then you can move back through them with the teleprompter. So the third piece then, just to show you how you can control it with your Stream Deck, I'm going to bring in my overhead camera. So the Stream Deck then, because it's Elgato as well as the teleprompter, you can control what is going on. So you would actually just not really need to have this on at all. You can have it minimized. What you're really doing is essentially hitting record and looking at the teleprompter. So if I press play, you'll see the text is starting to move on front of the camera because the camera is inside the teleprompter. If you look closely, if I pause the text for a moment, if you look closely, you'll actually see the lens of the Sony camera. Okay, that little circular piece there is the actual lens. So the lens sits inside the teleprompter, i.e. the camera sits inside the teleprompter. So you hit record on your Stream Deck, which it's recording right now because I'm using OBS to make this video, and I can hit play. Now you can practice and adjust the speed. So if I hold down the plus button, this is another shortcut, you can see it's speeding up to pretty much 100%. So you can practice by controlling the speed and reading the script. And the key is to sound unscripted and sound natural. So change your pitch and tone and speed slightly when you're recording your video. So you don't want to sound scripted. I'm not using a script in this video, and you can probably tell. So I can pause if I wish. So let's say you want to say something additional that's not in the script, you can pause, and then you can hit play and continue. If you make a mistake, you can pause the recording with the OBS pause recording, or you could stop the recording altogether and stitch the two videos together afterwards. But the fact that you can pause the recording is very useful. What that means is that you will just have one video to edit afterwards, and the editing will be a lot less if you pause. So as an example, I'm going to go back to the very beginning of the script. So I have a button here that allows me to go back through the chapters, and then I hit play and I start to read the script and sound natural, and I might notice that it's a little bit fast, but I want to continue because it's going well. So I can just press the minus button here to slow things down, or press pause to pause the script. The key thing here is not to look down at the buttons when you're doing that. So a little bit of practice and get your speed. And I find between 50 and 55% as the speed setting is pretty much a natural way to speak. And you can look up words per minute and everything else online. If you want to speak a little bit faster because that is your style, then that's fine too. Just don't speak so fast that people are finding it difficult to stay with you. So we hit record. I'll go back to the beginning of the script. So we hit record on our Stream Deck. We're looking at the lens and we hit play. And we have practiced the script. We've read it out loud. We've practiced it to make sure the speed is great. And if for whatever reason we need to pause, we can have our finger on the pause button if we need to. The only reason I have plus and minus here is to show you that it's possible, but also when you're practicing, it's nice to be able to control the speed when you're practicing and then take note of the speed. So this is 49, this is 52, and you can set it within the Elgato teleprompter software. So if I zoom in here, you can see the speed there is 52%, okay, and the opacity is 40. Don't worry about that. Although now that I see it, or I want to tell you that you can have yourself behind the text so that you can see what you're recording. That's another option as well. So that is the setup with the Elgato prompter. Really, really powerful piece of kit. It comes with a monitor built in. It's nice and light, so it is easy to support on your desk. It will fit onto the lens of your camera, or you can put any camera into it with the settings and fixtures that comes with it. So again, just a quick overview of what's possible with a teleprompter and the setup that I have and how I use it in making courses or making promo videos or anytime I need the assistance of a script when I'm making a video.